Hi there, my name is Graham. In Second Life, I'm known as Hrdtop75 Deluxe. I volunteer at the Virtual Railway Consortium. The Virtual Railway Consortium consists of members and groups that enjoy the railways around Second Life. They provide free open source scripts and builds for the residents to enjoy. In this series, I'm going to make a mesh locomotive from scratch using free software found on the net and open source scripts from the Virtual Railway Consortium. The reason why I'm making this series is to show you how it can be easy to make something from scratch and prevent DMCA takedowns. DMCA being Digital Millennium Copyright. But most importantly, help out newcomers to the railroads in Second Life. Join me live once a week, Mondays 5 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time, or Sunday 2400 SLT. The video will also be available for viewing later as well. But for now, let's get on with the build. Okay. Hello. I hope everything is going alright here. I hope my sound and everything's going good. I'm not 100% sure how that's going because I haven't really tested it. I've had a few struggles in the last couple of days. But what we're going to be here for is we are going to look into mesh modeling. It's an interesting beast. There's not a lot of people doing it. So I just thought we'll get out there and we'll have a go. I'm obviously going to live stream this from start to finish. This is just how I go about it. It's not something that everyone does. Maybe other people do it differently to how I do it. Maybe there's other practices. Maybe I'm doing things the wrong way. But this is just a basic setup of how I go about doing things. In the intro, I spoke about the DMCAs. I have noticed recently with everyone in lockdown, they are trying to keep, a lot of people are looking at products on the marketplace and they're trying to claim it as their own. So if you can make something yourself and prove that you've done it yourself, then you shouldn't have any problems. Now, I'm not 100% sure how the DMCAs work. I don't know how you go about turning it around. I'm not 100% sure. I've never looked into the legal side of it anyway. Now, what my goals are is to make a locomotive from start to finish, just using free programs that everyone can use. I'm going to give a brief description to the programs and why I choose to use them. Also going to research the locomotive that I've chosen for this project. And it's a basic project. So if you're following along with me at home, which would be pretty cool, if you're following along, this is just going to be a basic build. It's a locomotive that you've pretty much seen all around the world. There's different variances of it. And it's going to be good. We're going to have some fun. feel free to ask me any questions as well as we're on the move and doing things. Well, I guess for now, we better look into what locomotive it is that we're going to work on. And I've done a little tiny bit of research about this locomotive beforehand, and I really want to look into the variances. So far I've seen 5 variances of this locomotive. What we're going to do is we're going to research it. We're going to look into what kind of objects are on the locomotive. Then I'm going to take you over to a drawing desk where I'm going to plan out what I'm going to do with the texter and all that, and tell you what I'm going to put into one part of mesh, separate from another part of mesh. Should be fun. Obviously the model of that locomotive is inside at the moment, but it's going to be an interesting one. When I first started mesh, I learnt the basics, and it was the bare basics. I think I started making a Coke can or something like that. Could have been a beer can, I don't know. But it was just basic, you know, build it up, structure, close the top off, and it was quite easy. I'm also going to turn this mesh object into a workable model for the Second Life Railroad as well. So there are some tricks to actually doing that, and I'm going to show you all the way through. So basically, the same time, I'll have to pull up a, what have I got here? There we go. I've got the pointer on. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay. So that is a model I made a long time ago when I first started. And it's obviously going to be a 48 class. I'll show you some more in a second. So every Monday, 5 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time, or Sunday 2400 SLT is going to be the time frame that I'm going to put forward. It's going to be that time all the time, because I knew eventually there's going to be a time when I have to actually go back to work. And I actually know it's going to be at the end of this month. Would have been nice if it was a little bit longer, to tell you the truth, but anyway. This is going to be the allocated time. I know it's difficult for a lot of people to watch. It's not within the time that a lot of people use the railroads in Second Life. This is usually about the same time as India, Australia, Eurasian continents. But you can always watch the video later on, so yeah. So as I was saying, programs. I think I might introduce them as I'm getting onto it. Now, the locomotive of choice. Let's go and have a look at my locomotive of choice. This is a model, an actual working railroad model from Decision. Decision makes really good HO, G-gauge locomotives, rolling stock and all that for model railroads. If you ever get a chance to go into the shop, it's amazing. Their models are fantastic. And I've actually got one here. I've actually got this model here, which is the bicentenary in a DCC. Can I tell you that it's not cheap? When I was a child and I had my first model railroad, I think the original purchase price for the whole setup, locomotives, carriages, and it was just your basic high-speed train from Pommyland, and it was changed over in colour to match the Australian standards, the XPT. That was $200 with a controller and a whole heap of track, and it was good fun. Well, but you don't get much now for $200. You don't get a great deal. Bit of a shock to the system, but anyway. So that's the one that I've got right now, which is a 48 class in a Mark IV. There's obviously different colour variations. What we should do is go and have a look at. This is going to be hard to do because Wikipedia, that's what I want. That's what I want. So it is actually called the New South Wales 48 class locomotive. It's a diesel track, the locomotive. It's not. I guess they do use it on the main line sometimes, but it's mainly for sidelines. It's been taken out of service now, obviously, because this was one of the first locomotives that took steam off the rails. What do we got here? It's an A.E. Goodwin locomotive, and the motor that's in it, it's all General Electric gear, obviously. The prime mover is an Alco 625 6-251B, and it just sounds like a tractor that you get on your farm. It's a real horrible sound. But it's an easy build for what we're going to actually do. Now, multiple different people own these locomotives. There's four. Have I got my cursor? Yep, there it is. There's four top versions of this. So there's differences in. We'll go back to decision models. Your early basic models, that's your Mark 1. You can see there's a weird looking a buffer stop on the end of it. There you go, in the top picture there. Weird looking, there you go, main picture. Weird looking buffer stop. But not every single class has it. So we go Mark 1. This is the Mark 2. What is the difference between the Mark 1 and Mark 2? Doesn't look like a great deal. Looks like we've got tanks. Air tanks are the difference. You can see that here is built into the fuel tank. And then you got the Mark III, and it doesn't have the air tanks built into that tank. Obviously there's horn differences. We'll go down further, we'll go into the, it's a Mark 1 as well. This is a Mark 1, 125 years. I thought that'd be a pretty cool scheme to go and have a look at. Wouldn't mind doing that. There's a fair bit there to build too, by the looks of that. They had some pretty funky colours over the years as well, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do. What colour scheme. Pacific National, Mark II. There we go, there's a Mark IV. So when we have a look at it, we can see an obvious change in the window. I think handrails have changed. No, they haven't. There's an obvious change with air conditioning on top of the cab. Mark IV, once again, air conditioning on top of the cab, different colours. No buffers when you have a look at the front. So I've got a way around that. I have got a way around that. And then there's obviously changes, your air conditioning unit changes again, and there's, I don't know what kind of an outlet this is, like an exhaust outlet, or maybe it's a turbo outlet, or I don't know what that is. We're going to have to look into that. But that there, it's different pipes on top of the locomotive. There's some old school pictures, obviously when they first come out. There's that buffer I was talking about. It actually just goes right across the top, the whole way across. And then there's another standard kind of a buffer as well. So that's a different one again. The bicentenary one. No air tanks. You can see the difference now between, there's an air tank version, that'd be the Mark 1. It used to be like Mark 2 or Mark 3. So there's a few considerations we're going to have a look into when making this model. And then, looking down, I think, no, it's not going to show it. Okay. There is another model, being the Mark V, which they've actually renamed. They call it a PL4, which is what we're going to look into soon. Oh, there's one right there. PL5, or just a PL class, sorry. There you go. This is a variant of the 48. Put PL back on. There we go. So you can see they've cut the front end away and added more windows to it. And I believe they only use that down on the docks. And I think it was Freight Corp or I can't remember who it was now. They actually did that for Vision. They cut away the front end, done it for Vision. So that's a whole brand new cab on there, and they put the air conditioning back on and things like that. So, where are we up to? I wouldn't mind building the basic one first. Just your entry level starting one. We'll go from there. What else have I got here? Wikipedia. It doesn't look as if it'd be nice if I could go and find one and do a walk around as well before I start the build. But I don't think there is actually any available. Stored. There's a few stored, there's nothing. Okay, we want to mark one for starters. Preserved, 4801. Scrapped, preserved, operational, 4803. But it doesn't tell us where they are. Could be interesting. There's a lot of them here that have been scrapped, so. A lot of them have actually changed their names as well. 48, 43 is operational, and it's changed its number to 48S35. I don't know why that is. I've got no idea. What else are we looking at? Now, so we've had a look at, it's pretty basic stuff that we're going to be changing to make 4 different kinds. The 5th kind of locomotive is going to be a little bit trickier. That's going to be a whole different model. Judging off what we've got here, I'd like to. I'd like to actually separate the model into different areas. Tops, middles, bogies, fuel tanks, buffers, obviously, air conditioning. I'm going to separate a lot of this. I guess next. I know a little bit about it now. There's a few things that I do have already. Let's go back to here. Maybe these guys have got some really good pictures. So, judging off this model, I think a lot of this can be done with textures. Well, that's a different one as well. That's the Mark 1, is it? Yeah, it is too. So the Mark 1 doesn't have the boxes there. Mark 2's got the boxes. Okay, does Mark 1 have the doors up front? No, it doesn't. The door doesn't open there. Okay. I think we could separate that as well. The toolboxes. This is starting to look easier and easier and easier. This is we're obviously going to have to do the bogies. You can see how you got your two front wheels here, and then there's a complete difference between the axles. So I've done some research into why these axles in the middle are separated, and they claim it's for stabilisation. I've tried to picture it in a consist where it's in the middle of the consist being pulled and pulled from the opposite direction as well, and I can't see how that's going to actually help. So even on a corner, I don't see how that's going to help you. Obviously there's a reason for it, and I'm too silly to understand. Now, different roof colours, there's a lot of different colour variations. So, what I might do now, looks like there's different variances in the way that the electric door cabinets open as well. Mark 2, Mark 4, Mark 4. Okay. I'd like to do a Mark 1 just because that's just how it's going to be. It's going to be a lot easier. So I think it's about time if we go over and have a look at the model that I've got, something to have a look at, and also plan what we're going to do. Okay, I'm just going to move this microphone. Hopefully things don't go flying. And it looks like they are going to go flying. Alright, let's grab this microphone. We're good. Okay, so on this screen, I've got a whole heap of shit that's gone missing for some reason. And I don't understand why. Just get rid of it for now. Okay, so we can see here, this is a Mark IV. The window here is not large. There's going to be a picture up above on the right hand side. We're going to actually be able to see what's going on there. You can see there on the PL7 the window's a lot larger. Now I don't know if that's actual window or revision mirrors, so I'm going to have to do a bit of research into that. That's your Mark 1 there right now, and that's your Mark 4 on the top right hand corner. So what we're going to do is, I think we should separate the chrome tip off, separate the horns. I'd like to, that chrome tip there, I'm going to separate that. And if you've ever seen the VRC locomotives with that green text over the top, I'd like to put that green text right there. I think it'd be good, like, in your face, but also away from the locomotive as well. I'm going to make the cab part of the main body, but I'm going to separate this rail here. The main frame I'm going to separate. I'm going to keep stairs part of the main frame. There's a few cow catchers, things like that. A little bit of a bump stop up front, which is here. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. Right there. Oh yeah, it's kind of visible. Yeah. I'm going to separate the bogies. I've already got the wheels made. I'm going to separate the tank because we have a few different variants of tanks. What else have we got there? I'm just going back to... Okay. The buffer obviously sits over the top here. I'm going to separate that as well. The rails, and there's a few electrical pieces here as well that you can't see on. I don't know if that helps us or not. It probably makes it worse. There we go. There's a few electrical pieces here. That's for the part of the consist. We're going to separate them. This part here is, I've actually done a bit of research into this part here, and I reckon the first person who obviously I know what it is, but somebody that can tell me about this, I reckon I'll probably give a locomotive away to them. And that's common on every single model too, apparently. But yeah, check that out first, actually. We'll go back to... So you can see that once again on top. Yep, it's there, there, Mark 4s. We got that on the Mark 4. Yep, all the way through the lines. Oh no. Oh yeah, there it is, yeah. It's hidden behind one of the horns, yep. So every single class has got it, but obviously not the PL. Okay. So, it's going to be an interesting build, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to try and make it as simple as possible. I think it should be fun. Let's get back into drawing. Get my phone out of the way. There's no use in having that there. Oh, one of the rails has fallen off. Beautiful. Okay, let's have a look at what I'm going to do. Now, as I was saying, the frame, the body of the locomotive, I want to do separate. So that's one piece. And then back here is the main body with the cab. Oh, this drawing is so bad. And it's also got a roundish roof. That's going to be hard to draw in for you. But it's all pretty even all the way through. That's part of the main body. Fuel tank. And there was two different variances I was saying. Sorry. They were down below. Silly me. I should start drawing again, shouldn't I? Window. So, my goal is to have this as one piece. Bring out the highlighters. I'm going to have this as one piece. I want the main body, that being cab the whole lot. I want all in one piece. And then there's going to be a whole heap of other small details. As I was saying, I want the smokestack in one piece. I want the horns. It's really bad horns. I want them in one piece as well. Not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. Bogies. I want the bogies in one piece as well. The best part about these bogies is I'm going to be able to take this 1, 2, and 3, bring it over and flip it, and it should be exactly the same. Should be exactly the same. What have we got? I've already got the wheels made. I don't have to think about them. They're done. They're done. I've already made them out of mesh. What else have we got there? What else have we got? All the rails and things I'm going to do very last. It's going to be my last thing to do. So you got a rail here, you got a rail here, got a rail there, rail coming off the edge, rails here. There's actually a handrail that goes all the way around as well. There's also some navigation lights up here. They don't stick out like that obviously, but for the side drawing I'm going to add that to part of the main body. What else we got? The coupler. Same deal. I've already got them made. I don't have to make them. However, at the end of the day, I'm going to link this to a root prim. And I'm going to make them parts plus there's a door that opens here. I might just call that like that. And then on the opposite side there's another door there to the other side, and I'm going to separate them. Because at the end of the day, once we've got a proper root prim in there, I'm going to make them like doors so that they actually work. All the cabs stuff inside I'm going to make separate as well. I've already got seats done, so I don't need to make any of them. I think everything's going to be pretty good. Isn't that just the worst drawing you've ever seen? How good is that? That's a freaking embarrassment. Oh, I forgot one thing. I was talking about the toolboxes. There's actually 2 of them. And I'm thinking I'm going to make them. Not sure. I think we might look into that when it comes around. So that's one side. Oh, as part of the main body as well, we got 1, 2, 3 vents. That will definitely be part of the main body. And we've got another vent which doesn't pop out. So these pop. And then there's one here. 2 here, sorry. And they don't pop out. Okay, everything's looking pretty good. The vent. What are we going to do with that vent? That's crazy. So we've got a round vent here. That's going to be a tricky one. You can probably see that there. It's not a very good picture. Might have to update all my cameras. You can see the mesh there on top to prevent the fan blades from cutting people up. What I might do this is going to be dodgy as. Okay. Where's my pencil? So you can see how the sides around here. What I might do is bring the sides of the model up this way, loop them down and under, like okay, where's that textile? There it is. I might bring it up and over like that and leave the center, and then put a piece on top. Now there's a reason why I'm doing that. Because I do want to put a fan inside, which I should mark out of a different colour. Let's go pink again. I'm going to put a fan in there, and then I'm going to put a primitive on top. Something that I can make. Oh jeez, what's it called again? Off the top of my head, it's not working for me. Textures. Alpha. I might make an alpha for up there. So that you can see through a grate. You obviously only need to see one way through the grate to see the fan. And we'll use a wheel script to make that fan work as well. I don't think I really want to go into detail with all the hoses. I think we could reduce a lot of the prims by not putting them in. You might be able to see there's a dodgy shot there of 2 dots. 1 and 2. That's your headlamps, and then your navigations are underneath. Same as the opposite side. Man, this camera is crap. So once again, navigation's here and headlamps are there. And I think there's just a little bit of a back glow behind them, which I will definitely need an alpha for them as well. So let's go some plates alpha. And same here. Nameplates alpha. Man, this is the worst picture I've ever drawn. Alright. So we've got a rough idea now of where we want to go. We'll have a quick look over some of these models again, just to... What do we got? What do we got? Okay. I'm pretty happy with the plan of the model. Just quickly have a look at how dodgy I made these. Okay, we'll go to this one. You can see how dodgy I made these models here. It's nothing's to scale, it's got the wrong bogies on it, and now these were part of, I think it was the second build I made actually. So they're pretty dodgy, and I think I even used paint shop. Not paint shop, sorry, paintbrush. I probably used paintbrush on that. That looks so dodgy. Good look back on it. But as you can see there, there's the fan. It's obviously not the texture I'm going to be using. Okay. Well, for now we've got a bit of a plan. Let's go and have a look at Chrome. Here we go. So we've got a few different boxes, a few different vents. You can see how the light's there. Just a standard common light. I'm not 100% sure if I want to separate that. I think I'm going to leave it intact. Buffers? Did I put the buffer down? I didn't put the buffer down. Okay, we're going to go back. What colour is the buffer? We'll make them green. Man, worst drawing ever. Okay, I'm pretty happy with the planning. What do we got here? Yeah, you can see I've saved a couple of images on the top right hand side. You can see them turning over every now and again. Looking at the images, I don't feel the need to break them up any further. What we will do is we need to figure out what we're going to do for the script. So the scripting side of things. Hopefully that didn't go through. Okay. I need another texture. Different color. Use the blue, green, blacks. What's this color like? What's this one like? Can you see the difference in that? I can't see the difference in it. It's a bit thinner. Okay. What we're going to do, I might just colour in the sections. So what we're going to need to script is that. And that's just all basic copy paste. Actually, now it's starting to change colour because it's running out of ink. I'm also going to make a root prim. Now, it's not really something that I'm going to have to look into right now, but later on down the track, we need our model to have a proper primitive, not mesh, but primitive. So we're going to put that right here. And it has to be dead center. Oh my god. I should have checked all these pens beforehand. I think we'll just have to go back to the old thing here. Here we go. So, center. Whatever. We need that there for two reasons. One, the script works on primitives. This is going to bring everything together and it's going to calculate its weight every time it does a sim crossing. Second of all, we need that root prim there center. This one here, center, because I'm also going to script to work on a roundhouse or a how do you say, a turntable, and also I've lost the word for the one that goes sideways anyway. So that's there. Next up, we need. So that's your root prim there. Wish I had another bloody texter. We're gonna make a passenger, and we're also gonna make smoke come out of a circle. So we're gonna zero. Yeah, we're gonna see that. Yep. Zero it, and we're also going to alpha it. The chimney, or the exhaust, I'm actually going to put a script into that as well, and that's going to be our engineers. Can't remember the name of the script now, but anyway, it'll give an engineer green text. Okay. What else have we got? Buffers. There's nothing at the front that I need to put in there. I guess we're going to find a few things on the way anyway. but we need our main primitive in the bottom here. That's going to be our sit location for our engineer. Sounds, calculating point. It'll also have our scripts for the turntable. So I'm pretty happy with what we've got. I've got a plan. That's how I'm going to run with it for now. Now, what time? I guess we'll go back into... We'll have a look at Blender, actually. We'll go and have a look at Blender. Okay, so this is Blender. It's not exactly as hard as you think it is. It's not that bad. When you're calm and relaxed, everything's going to work out really well. Now there is obviously a site that you can go to for Blender. Just see if I can go find that. Oh, geez. Blender.org, I think it is. Here we go. Okay, bring that across. Look, they've got a brand new update, which I don't have. So there you go. That is... It's got its own website now too, so you know it's actually going to come from them. You can go through and add all your add-ins. You can actually get into this program and do all animations as well, which is pretty cool. Obviously make your skeletons and things for avatars. But what we are doing, we're not going to need that. We're just making the model. We're going to export it. We are going to texture it. No, we'll export the UV map, then we'll texture it, then we'll bring it back into Blender and we'll check it. So anyway, go to Blender. There's all the downloads here. There's obviously other programs that you can go out and purchase. This one here is for free. And as I was saying, I'm just going to use all the free stuff. So that's Blender. Blender.org downloads. That's where you're going to find Blender. Now, there's obviously a little bit underneath my screen here that I'm not showing you. And that's the animation part of things. I'm not going to bring that into view because I don't think it's needed. We're not going to learn it. Maybe later on down the track, maybe we can learn it. Maybe we could learn how to animate steam train piston rods or something like that, but I don't have the scripting capabilities to actually do that, so I'll try and steer clear of things like that. Okay, what have we got now? First thing we're going to do is we're going to have a look at normals. One thing that is painful, and you need to be able to see it the whole way through, is normals. So, where do we view our normals? I should have checked this. I should have checked it. Shading? Nope. Display? Maybe? No. I've forgotten how to display normals. How wonderful. First we need to be in edit mode anyway, I guess. Wow, this is not looking pretty good, is it? Well. Toggle quad shading? No. I want to display. Sharp edges, widgets. Ah, here it is, right here. So we can see it, yep. So, mesh display, normals. Now, there's a few different ways of displaying normals, and I want faces. So as you can see, we've now got, I don't know if you can see it on stream or not. I'll add a little bit to them. There we go. So our blue lines are what they call normals. That's going to show the direction of the face. So normals equals face. Right there. We obviously want this line to be the direction facing out, because that is actually the face that we're going to texture. So if I went into, let's go back into Second Life. There's our primitive trains. You can see on our prim, I look into the locomotive and there's extra wood. You can obviously see that there. You can get rid of that by picking a face and getting rid of it. However, with Blender, that face is not even going to be there. So let's get rid of one of these for starters. And let's stick in a mesh train. Actually, I might have one already here. Right there. Let's grab that one. Okay, we'll stick that there. And we're going to have a look at the normals. You can see by the highlight, I look into it and I pick the nose cone, and you're going to be able to see all the triangles, or some of the squares I've used anyway. So we want to talk about the normals. So I look here, and you can see right there, everything is invisible. The reason behind that is because of normals. So we're only shading one face. Now you can shade and manipulate your model to go inside, outside as well. For instance, on this model here, the black part there of the window I've made is one face facing out. But you go on the inside and you can see straight through. Which, whoops, I've gone past it. Okay, cab ends up here. Face facing out. No face there. So, there you go. And obviously I've separated the cab off this model because it was too heavy at the time, but that's just how it was. So normals is going to be, we'll go back to Blender. Normals is going to be the face that we're going to texture. And we need to make sure that all our normals are facing the correct way around. Because if you have one that's not facing the right way, you're going to have an invisible part of your model when it comes to texturing. Now, what are we, an hour into the stream? What I've previously done, I've already put into my Blender sequence here, is I've already put in, as you can see there, I'm pulling that out from the top right hand side. It's just an extra window. And on this extra window I've got, let's bring all this out. I'm going to use some background images to start my model off. So I've gone through the whole internet, try and find all the images that I want, or what I think might be perfect, to actually line up the model. So I've currently got to go into a different viewer. So I've got here on the left hand side, I hope you guys can see this on stream. It says add an image up here. Now this is background image, this is not going to turn up in the model. These are like the references. We're going to go down on the axis here, on the left axis. I'm going to look for an image. So we go down to view, go left. You can also use Control Pad 3 as well. When it comes to a lot of the keyboard shortcuts, it will take you a little while to learn them. So I'm just going to try and do everything basic. And when we do start actually building this model, I'm going to put up a little display thing down here, a keyboard display, so that you can see what I'm doing. At the moment I'm just using a mouse. So left-hand image, and we need to go into a different view. If I can remember how to do it. View left-hand side. Nope. Okay. This might do it for us. Here we go. Here we go. So there's our first image that we're going to look at. Obviously I'm going to pick a spot where I can locate two side images. I'm going to locate this side, and I'm going to locate the front. Now this image here is obviously from Decision Models. We'll go back to their models there. And it is of 48165. They did have a whole heap of pictures here, or an ordering list, sorry, where you could see all of their images, and they actually have every single colour scheme as well, which is pretty cool. Make sure you go and see Decision Models or check out their website. They've got some really super cool stuff, and I think they make stuff from all around the world as well, but they are really famous for making Australian stuff. So let's go back into Blender. We need to locate this cube. Now, we also need to find the other face that I've already added. So these are just images that I've added. As you can see here, that's the front, that's the side. I've picked out a source of a locomotive there. Come down to my other source here, and that is on my front. So if I go into view mode, go into front, you'll see my other image there. That was actually the best front image I could find. So view, no, we're going to edit mode, no. View shading, okay, so there you go. You can see my locomotives there. It's coming into a tunnel. It's also tilted as well, you can see that. We're going to angle it So I'm pressing X down here. It's moving it side to side. Oh, and another thing is our X-axis in Second Life is not the same as the X-axis in Blender. It's not the same. So try not to get confused with it. Just upload it into Second Life and twist it 90 degrees and you should be laughing. Everything will be fine. Okay, so I need to rotate this image. Oh, don't tell me 1% done that. That's just funny. Now, we're going to go back to the left side, my left view. Control pad number 3. And I want to pick a part of the scale. I'm trying to figure out where. Okay. I'm going to grab a face. Go into solid mode. And I want to pick a face. Okay, you can see there I've selected a face. Got to go back into side view, left view, and I'm going to bring this up to the floor. Looks pretty good. On my right hand side control, my number pad, I'm going to select a couple of the arrows just to move the scene around so I know what I'm doing. Go back into left mode. Okay. And we're going to drag that down so that we're at the square part. I'm going to take the square part of the body and go from there. Now these are just reference points and I'm trying to line my images up. That's all I'm doing at the moment. That's all I want to do. And I want to put that cube, go back to my draw. Okay. I want to try and get this cube that we're working with right now from the floor to just before it starts curling over onto the roof. That's going to be my flattest, squarest section. Then, once I've got all that lined up in Blender, I'm going to come to the front image and I'm going to try and line it up from there side to side and find the flattest part, which by the looks of it, hopefully is going to be underneath the nameplate. Right there, which you can't see because my camera's a piece of garbage. Might be something to look into for the next stream, I guess. I have to get myself a nice HD cam or something like that. Okay, let's go back to Blender. Okay, everything's looking good there. That's still in left ortho or local view. You can see up the top there. We want to go to front view. Okay. So you can see our image is a long way out when it comes to the vertical. So we'll go into wireframe. I'm going to line, because I've already lined up the image on the left hand side with the flat section of the side. I'm now going to go across to the front and I'm going to line this image up. So X-axis is side to side. If you can see the cursor, yeah, I can see the cursor there. And then the Y-axis is up and down. Yep, there we go. Hopefully, no. Okay, so I don't think I can. Oh yeah, there we go. We can zoom in a bit. Now, from what I've seen, just underneath that nameplate is the end of the flat section before the roof starts to curl. Model's there, yep. And obviously we want it to line up with that plate there. So by the looks of this, we just need to go up and center it, and we should be laughing. So up, too much. So that's minus 800. The other way was minus 700. Let's change that to 750. Whoops. Minus 750. Oh shit, what have I done? Okay, minus 0.75. There we go. Scaring myself. Now it's still out. So what if we went to minus 775. Oh, spot on. Okay, beautiful. Now you can still see there that I've still got the top selected. The top face is still selected up there. So what I'm now going to do is this dot in the middle of that face is going to be our center point of the cube. What I'm going to do now is move the image so that the center is in between them two lights and in between the coupler. Oh, that was a little bit too easy. Just a little bit too easy. Okay, so let's scale this cube in sideways. I had to tell you what I'm doing because I don't have just can't remember what it was called now. I might have it here somewhere. I know I wrote it down, what this thing is called, this program that I've got. What is that program called? Oh. God damn, what have I done? Sunday. I haven't even written it down. Something to look into for the next stream anyway. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to tell you what buttons I'm using. So I'm going to use A to unselect or deselect. I'm going to press A again to select all. I'm going to press S to scale, and I want to scale on the X-axis. So I pressed S on the keyboard, X to only select X-axis. I'm going to drag my mouse in. That looks pretty good. I think that image could be a little bit squarer, but you never know, it might be a defect in the locomotive, you never know. Go back to the view on the left-hand side. And we're still at a good angle there, still at a good angle there. Now, I'm actually hoping that both of these images are to scale. One's obviously a drawing and one's obviously a picture. So fingers crossed, we can use this as a good starting point. Go into solid mode, and obviously you can't see the picture anymore. Let's go into view, slide mode, left mode. From there, what time are we? What time? We're about an hour and a half into it. I don't want to do too much of the build right now because I want to save most of this for upcoming streams. Let's do a bit of a review on what we're doing, where we're up to, and then I'll go through and show you what we're going to do next time. So, pull out some of my notes here. Let's have a look at my the worst drawing in the freaking world. So, we've already planned out the model. I've bumped the camera by the looks of this. There we go. I've planned out the model. We've talked about how I'm going to separate all the units. The reason why we're going to do that is I'll obviously show you later on when I'm building in the thing in Second Life. We're going to separate the cab, we're going to separate the main frame, we're going to separate these buffers that are and aren't on some of the models. You can see there on that top right hand corner model, it doesn't have it. This model here, the Grain Corp one, that doesn't have it. We're going to separate the buffer here as well. Oh, there you go, top right hand corner, there's one style of buffer. There's actually two styles. I feel as if we might be able to, there's a second style right there, that's the Mark II. That's got a flat buffer, and now the Mark I's got a buffer that goes over the top. It's got a bit of a kink in it. I'm not going to bother with the PL7 or the PL model right now, because I don't think that's for now. I think that's not something that we're going to be interested in. But we're going to also separate some bits and make them invisible, like this one that I've labelled 0 alpha. We're going to put a smoke script and a passenger script into that. And then that'll give us the opportunity to locate our passenger. On the X, I should mark out here with my texter. See down here, yep. X axis, Z axis, and obviously straight through this way is your Y axis. So this part here is going to be interesting. This is going to be the top of the fan, as I showed you earlier. We're going to try and do something a little bit dodgy with that. I'm separating that because of the textures. That has to be an alpha. If I make everything here alpha, it means that I can't put a shine texture on it. It won't look good. If there's any imperfections in the texture, you'll see it straight away, and it's not going to look any good. So first thing is, we're going to have a look at the main body. You can see how we've lined that up in Blender. So I've put the cube in, the main body, just so we can see. And that's obviously right there. Now I've got a program on this computer. I have to go searching for that for the next episode, and that's going to show you all the keyboard shortcuts that I'm going to use. And I do tend, when I'm on a roll in Blender, I tend to start doing things, because I've used Blender for so long now, I tend to do things so that nobody can see what I'm doing, and half the time you can go into a state where you're just building and you're not even concentrating on what you're doing. It's just things just get done. You know, it's like when you're driving long distances and you kind of, your mind goes blank and you start building real super quick. So I'm going to use a program And I don't know why it's not showing up in my programs list. I really don't know why. Maybe it'll be in my downloads. Actually, let's go find it. But we'll go find it. Hopefully, no weird ass porn or anything that's going to turn up on my screen. This is it. Karnak, I think it's called. Karnak? Karnak. Let's go searching for Karnak. Nope, not there. Okay. Karnak. EXE. Hope this works. Oh. Where is it? Let's go. I need to grab everything. There we go. There it is. It's on the screen. There you go. There we go. Okay. Obviously, next time around, we're going to have to move this around so we know where it is on the screen. So if I wanted to go now and find the full overall length of the model, we go A to grab the cube that we want. We're going to go scale with S, and then we're going to scale it on the, what axis is that? Y axis. You can see down the bottom here, it's got Y. Right click on the mouse button, it says scale Y, and drag your mouse. Actually, that worked out pretty good. That's pretty center. So there you go. Right now, if you go to front, view front, it's not going to make a difference because we only scaled it one way. We didn't scale it both ways. So for now, this is what we're looking at. I'm going to walk you through everything here in Blender, the best of my abilities. So what we've done basically is we've planned the model, we've done a research as to what we're doing. As you could see there, we went through, had a look at all the different variances, had a quick look at some pictures. There's that PL7. I'm not really too interested in that. We're going to look at, we had a look at the classes of locomotives. Now, I really want to go and have a look at one. Hopefully, I've got a couple of friends in Second Life. Hopefully, they might be able to locate one for me and we can go for a walk around one. That'd be pretty cool if we can do that. They might have access to one, so that'd be pretty cool. If you're watching, I'll give you a buzz later on. So we'll try and, in a perfect world, go and have a look at one, go and get some textures as well. Obviously, we're not going to see one running. I think they're only used now for day trips and things like that. It used to be in service a long time ago, these locomotives. As I was saying, they replaced steam a long time ago. So they used to run like the old S-wagons and things like that. They were basically on the branches. They weren't a mainline locomotive. So we found out about that. Where's that? Oh, maybe Thelmia's got one. We'll go and check out Thelmia. There's a picture, one of the first, that's actually a Mark IV by the looks of that, but the colour scheme's about right anyway for a Mark 1. Oh, here we go. There's a Mark 1. Maybe Thelmia's got one. Might have to go for a drive down there or something. Anyway, all the different colour variations. I still haven't picked out what colour I want to do yet. I want to do a Mark 1. So you get a few different colours there. Basically the Mark 1 difference is going to be in the buffer from what I can see here. Buffer, a couple of toolboxes, maybe that's a toolbox, something like that. All the bogies are exactly the same, the fuel tanks are different. That'd be nice to do, the 125 year anniversary one, that'd be pretty cool. That's got a Mark 1 buffer on it, Mark 1 tank on it. Anyway, things to think about later on anyway. We talked about normals, how we could see one face and not the other face. We can go into super detail and actually put a face on the inside as well, but the problem with building mesh locomotives in Second Life is the larger that you go, the more weight that you put on the land. So if I copy this one, go edit mode and shift and bring it across. Okay, let's grab this one. What the hell? Okay. Because I've got them scripted, they're both talking to each other. Let's stretch one. Let's stretch this one. Okay, so the object there, the bigger one, 117 land impact. Right? Go to the one that I've actually scaled, and we're only talking 93. So the biggest downfall that the railway has is the size of its objects. And with mesh, the larger you go, the more land weight you're going to have. Now, depending on the scripts that you're going to use, get rid of that, we don't need that. Depending on the scripts that we're going to use, depends on what weight we need to make. So if we're going to use the VRC scripts, we're going to have a non-phantom vehicle. Oh, sorry. What are we doing? We're going to make a object. Yeah, we're going to make a phantom vehicle. So we can have a link set of up to 250 pieces, or land impact. Whereas if you're running physical, you have to have, I think it's only 32 land impact for it to be a physical object. And I think people are using the scripts to get around that now. But that's way down the track. We're nowhere near that right now. Okay, let's go to, actually, check what I had planned. Yep, set up in Blender. We've already checked our normals, and all of our normals in Blender look pretty good actually. Everything with the blue line coming out, as I showed you down here. There we go, normals, mesh display, normals, and select the face. You can select your angles and your verts as well. But what we really need to check is the faces, because that's where our texture is going to be, and that's, just keep it simple. Just select the face, it's easier. Let's go now to our planning. Once again, best drawing in the world, absolutely #1. We've planned it out. We've had a quick talk about separation, scripting here once again, how we're going to separate exhausts and fans, get into the handrails and everything as well, maybe later on. But we're also going to look into the door. This is going to be very last. This is like part of the last part of scripting that we're going to do. There's a door there, and on the opposite side there's a door here on the opposite side. We're going to actually make them work. And I'll put a script out as well for people to use when we get that close to... Geez, that'll be very close to the end of the build. Buffers are also there as well. We're going to make them doors as well so that the... how do you say? The handle opens... I don't even know the name of it. I want it to actually open up anyway. We're going to separate the buffers because that's part of the different marks or the different variants of this model that we're going to make, the model of train. As you can see there's no buffer there. So there's going to be stages where we're going to put some on, we're going to take some off. But we're only going to do one model in this train, so as you can see there's a buffer right there in the top right hand corner right now. But for now, that's where we're at right now. So if you're following along at home, and I hope you are, please feel free to ask questions in either live chat, or if you want to chat on the video that it's going to turn up on YouTube. It'll probably turn up in the next maybe 5 hours, I think, once it buffers and everything like that anyway. Feel free to ask questions and I'll do my best to help you out. If you've planned a locomotive that you want to make and you want to follow along with me, awesome. I'll help you out on the way. We'll go from there. But for now, I think we've done a bit of work today, and we'll look into doing the exact same thing again next Monday, 5 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time. Go back to Second Life actually. I've got the thing down here. There it is right there. Go back to screen. There you go. So same again. Monday 5 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time, or Sunday 2400 SLT. So obviously I'm hoping to do about 2-hour sessions. I don't want to burn people out every time we get into this. So I think once a week for 2 hours, I think that'll be fun. And that'll give us time to go and have a look at what we're building, plan for the future, and as well ask questions and chat away. So it should be good. I'll do my best to keep you notified on the socials as well. And silly me, I haven't put a microphone in that scene. So, anyways, that was the socials that you're gonna find me on, YouTube, Twitch. If I do have problems with the time slot, I'll notify people either on my Facebook group, the Australian Locomotive Facebook group, and Twitter would be the main ones to look at. People have asked me, why did I make it this time? The reason behind that being is with the back end of COVID-19, I knew that this wouldn't last forever. And I know that this build project is going to probably take a couple of months, maybe even longer. So I planned it so that I could come home from work, have about an hour or two, about an hour to myself, and then get straight into this. So hopefully that's going to be the plan, and I'm hoping it's going to last till about Christmas. Fingers crossed anyway. Anyway, maybe we could do an event or something like that with the railway group and do I don't know, maybe a rally, something like that for showing off our models that we've made, we've helped each other make and all that, so that could be a bit of fun. But for now, we'll end her up early here. I was aiming for 2 hours, but I'm going to cut it a little bit short by 15. But that's going to get us started, and it's going to give us a quick indication on where we are, where we're heading. So next episode, obviously look back at what we've talked about today, get into making of the model. We're actually going to make the cab. We're going to do the whole thing, separation, round the cab roof off, round the top of the roof off, add the vents at the rear. Yeah, should be a bit of fun. But for now, it's time to take off, and I hope you enjoyed that. I'll let you all know the links for the next time around. But for now, catch you later, have fun, and let us know how we went in the comments. Thanks for watching.